Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 11:36 of the HEDC Type A EDC. We have a quorum present. Citizens' participation and comment. Do we have any cards, Katrina? No. Okay, item number 3, items of community interest. City of Haskell office will be closed September 1, 2025 in observance of Labor Day. 3.2, we have a movie in the park to be held Friday, September 19th. The feature will be The Wild Robot. It will be at Nats Field. Food trucks will be there at 6:30, and the movie will begin at dark. Item 3.3, National Night Out will be held October 7th, 2025 from 6 to 8 at the Haskell Community Park. For more information, the city's website at the National Night Out link. Item 3.4, bulk trash pickup will now be on the first and the third Wednesday of each month. That's a nice ad.
I have one item to add. There will be the limb drop-off day over at Public Works on September the 13th, which is a Saturday.
Okay. But they would also pick those up on bulk trash day too if it was cut and tied the way it's
They will. It's bundled into 4-foot by 4-foot sections.
No, I've got it.
But on the 13th, if you drive them over to Public Works, they'll have them all.
Take whatever. All right.
That makes sense.
Excellent. Anything else? All right. Item number 4. We have 3 items on the consent agenda that we'll vote on in bulk. 4.1 will be discuss, consider, and act to approve the April 23rd, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Item 4.2 will be discuss, consider, and act to approve the July 28th, 2025 special meeting minutes that we approve the budget. 4.3 will be discuss, consider, and act regarding the July 2025 financial statements. I have one question, Maurice, on the financials. You may not know the answer, but I'm just curious. The projected year-end fund balance that we have this year, and then with that, we also have a debt service reserve for the bonds. Was the debt service reserve for the bonds restricted funds in our cash, or was it raised funds in the par amount of the bonds, and so then the total availability of the anticipated balance at the end of the year is available for projects?
I'm sorry to say, but that's above my pay grade.
Okay, I was just curious. You know what? That line item's been on there for a long time, and it just kind of hit me. I was just curious. But, I mean, if there's a portion of the balance that's restricted, certainly, I'm sure the mayor's aware.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But who would have an answer?
Well, it's in the bond, and it's in the trust indenture, and it is what it is. I mean, whatever it is, we can't change it. I was just curious, do we really have 235, or do we have 25 anticipated at the end of the year?
We do have a couple of people would have the answer. Either Marcy or Tracy would have the answer to that.
What was the line item?
Well, it was just a query of interest. It really, the answer is what it is, and it can't be modified. My question is this: you recall from the bond issue that we had a debt service reserve requirement of $143,000, and that was a covenant in the original bond issue. And those usually are handled. In fact, you'll notice in the budget, it's the line item down here, the bond reserve account. And those are handled one of 2 ways. One, they're either part of the borrowing and funded through bond proceeds, or 2, it's a requirement that we set aside those dollars restricted in our cash to serve for that purpose on a restricted basis. And I was only just as a matter of just interest and nothing more. Just curious which one it was as we look at that balance at the end, how much of it is really available to promote economic growth versus it'd be roughly 5% of it that would be restricted. So it's not a big deal.
You're wondering if that 43,000 is in the 2.503?
That's correct. In which case,
Or do we have 2.4 million?
right.
246?
Well, it'll be less than that. It'd be 2, 3.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just saying, I would think that'd be set apart separately. You would think,
No.
if it's below a big line.
Hey, you know what? It's all in the bond covenants, and whatever it is, look, let me just withdraw the question. It was just kind of a curious thing. I would be interested to know how that was done.
We will get you an answer.
All right, I appreciate it. And you know what? I signed it, but I don't remember it. That piece of it was just curious. All right, is there any other
Well, it ought to
questions?
be- If nothing else, ought to be footnoted.
Yeah,
footnote it, that
I would think
either
so.
included or not.
All right.
I'm gonna try to get you an answer.
All right, fair enough. All right, is there any other question on the budget? We're obviously way ahead of the forecast, solid, or the minutes from the special meeting or the last regular meeting in April. Yep. Then I'll make a first that we accept the consent agenda items as presented in the agenda. Need a second?
I'll second it.
Candy? Okay, all for, say aye. Aye. All right, the motion carries. Item number 5, reports and presentations on economic development activity in the city.
Chairman and members of the board, we've changed our format a little bit about our development report, and actually I'm going around taking photographs of all the different projects in their progress as they make, and also just some notes as far as how many building permits that we have with that first item. And I also want to apologize. We've had a little translation issue between my computer and iCompass when we put it in, and so we're going to be doing a little bit different because on the next, if you scroll down just a little bit, you know some of those things are outside the boundary and all the verbiage does not line up. But to go back to it, the Hazlet Fire Station expansion is the drawing that's on the far right, and then we have 2 shell office buildings that are behind the women's clinic that are in various stages of construction. One has just the parking lot been poured and the foundation was the form boards were up, and then on the other one that's in between the women's health clinic and that one is the one that where you see the green zip board that's on the building, and so they're going up rather fast. And going on down, we have a lot of other things that are going on. Go up a little bit. You're going a little too fast now. Go up a little bit, just to the bottom of the page, next page up. Right there. We have, on the right, we have Quick Trip, and if you go by their day, they've got their canopies up for their guest, filling islands. And then the one on the left is the building that's right at the intersection of Schoolhouse Road and also 156, and that they're actually rocking it today and bricking it. So a lot of progress has been made on those 2 things. Okay, go down a little bit. In the industrial activity, we have 3 fairly substantial warehouses that are going up by Stream Realty, and those are just north of Pask and east of Intermodal and south of Hazlet Parkway. And we also, on the very bottom part of that page, we had some work going on in Community Park. We have a sewer line replacement on Belgrand where they went under the road and replaced a line. It was where the fence was going to be, and it was going to be problematic, so they moved it out of the way. And then on the far right is a batch plant that has been approved with an SUP at the City Council for pouring concrete in the North Glen Phase 3 construction. So it's out there, and they're ready to go on that. It'll be about a 2-week project whenever they get that cranked up.
Okay.
That's it.
My only question you probably wouldn't have the answer to, which is, when is my tie going to reopen?
Well, there is actually some drawings that are on that one page, and I actually stepped inside and took a photograph of it.
Oh, yeah.
And they're getting fairly close. It was my understanding there was some hood issues that they were still working on, but as far as exhaust system, but it looks like it's really close to being ready. It looks really nice inside.
Okay. All right. No, it did. Yeah, we've been by there a few times. We like that couple that has that. Mm-hmm. And I know they've had some delays, but we're customers there. We like that place.
Well, I think it'll be a very successful location. There's a lot of vehicle trips that go by there, and if, like I say, they have their people that are their main customers that they'll, it's not that much further to go out there to find
No,
it.
it's not. It's not. All right. Super. Okay. It was just an interest I just had an interest in how that was it a reserve account that served from our restricted funds that we have, or was it actually the debt service reserve funded in the par amount of the original bond issue?
It was funded in the original amount.
Okay, okay, so then our balance is then completely available for economic projects. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There's a wastewater line going along the creek bed between Schoolhouse Road and Headport Westport Parkway. Is that ours under construction out there? Is that something we're doing?
That was part of our construction in conjunction with Fort Worth for some oversized lines. The sewer that's west of Laterra goes through that area, and so I believe they're paying for a large portion of the oversizing of that line. But it just happens to go through the city of Hazlet, getting to the TRA line.
Oh, that's a Fort Worth project?
It's a joint project, but it's being funded by Fort Worth because they need the capacity. It just so happens that the way the gravity works for that line, it goes through Hazlet to get to the TRA line, which is up in north part of town.
Okay.
Is the bridge project at the park completed on back by the railroad tracks yet? Is the walking trail back to a full loop? We haven't been out there because it's too hot this time of year. I'm just curious. It's not finished?
They're working on it, but it's not quite finished
Okay.
yet.
All right. Just
I have
curious.
a question. On Hazlet Parkway, there was a big sign, and it said Hazlet Crossings. Can you give me any information on that? I mean, is that a retail, or is that Hazlet Crossings? It said it was coming.
Okay.
Where's that?
When you go out that way and you're going toward 35, you're going east toward 35. It's on the south side of the street.
Well, if it is, nothing's been submitted to the city
Okay.
as far as a project. I mean, realtors, a lot of times they'll put up and say this property is zoned commercial, and I get calls all the time for some property they say is, a realtor told us it's commercial, but it is residential. Like one good example is the northeast corner of Blue Mound Road and 156, and it's zoned for residential. On the future land use plan, it's residential, but I get calls from a lot of people that says our realtor says that's a commercial tract.
Okay.
So sometimes there's some misleading information that's put out there that's not promulgated by the city. It's just out there.
Some of the smaller facilities that are being built there on 156 together, I guess with Schoolhouse Road now, are those all investor-owned to be leased, or is there any of those that are owner-occupant being constructed?
Like at 1096 Schoolhouse Road, that is, it's my understanding that there's going to be 2 lease spaces in there, and one of them's already got a tenant.
Excellent.
So it's 50-50 spec.
I understand. So it's got it. I was just curious.
And that's just like a lot of the big warehouses that we have that are empty. A lot of those were spec when they were built.
Right.
And some of them will be occupied soon. And at least that's my understanding in my conversations.
When you see the size of those buildings and even think about $1 a foot for warehouse space, and I know it's a lot more than that, that's a hefty tab.
Yeah, well, that one on Multo had the Multo sign on it, which is now gone. That's a 400,000 square foot building.
Yeah.
And we had, going through P&Z, we had a preliminary plat for our just little slightly under 1 million square foot building.
Right.
So, and it's a complete spec building.
Understand. Any other questions?
They take the if they build it, they will come.
Understand.
It may take a while, but they will come.
You got the state power for that? There are people who do.
This may not completely fall underneath our umbrella, but for the record, I'd like to see what the engineering and future plans look like for the Blue Mound 156 intersections in terms of the possibility of being able to turn right with X number of lanes. I know you mentioned, I thought the mayor was going to be here, but I'd like to see that. I think that if we put something in place for right-hand turns on blue mounds going in both directions, I think that will alleviate a lot of frustration.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of, there was actually a traffic study that was done on Blue Mound Road, and there was a lot of recommendations from the traffic engineer on that. And our engineer has actually done some schematics on that, and we will get that information to you.
Okay.
That's a fair request.
The park project is scheduled to be finished by end of October.
All right, item number 6, are there any other items for future agenda items from the board? Yes.
I have one for you. Your next meeting is scheduled on November the 26th, which is the day before Thanksgiving. So I was going to propose November the 19th if the board would like to meet that day instead.
Hold on. I could do the 19th. And I'm assuming that it'll be the same thing. We'll get to the 10th or something and decide is there items to hit. Okay, got it. November 19th.
That's 3 months from now, and
Understand.
we'll have reappointments of board members, so we'll have oath of offices. We don't want to break those out.
Got it. Got it. All right, super. Then item number 7 is adjourn.
At least you'll let me get done with my lunch.
Well, good. I appreciate it.
Long enough to finish lunch.
I think I'll do some paperwork, which is a repeat, but we're just updating.